And we're not having a call today.
It's true. Kayla, is that you? We're ready. All right.
I think we are ready to go live. Yeah.
We are. Man, we got a good looking group on today. I like the backgrounds. We got Rob, looks like he's maybe at Lake Louise. He in Banff over there. We got Ryan Gaska, that's
in the Rockies.
Clearly in San Francisco. Leanna, I'm not sure where you are. It looks like your home office.
Yes, home today.
Stubbs, I see you're on the Smurf turf, ready to play some ball as usual.
Blue, baby, the blue.
Shannon, I like the backdrop. I like the beautiful pictures. Looks like you got your family back there. It's good stuff. We got a good call today, Darren. Got some good ones on. What you got in store for us?
I was going to ask you the same thing, man. We got some real good stuff.
Yeah. Talk to me, Darren. What you gonna share with them?
Well, I'll tell you what, we just we have a tremendous amount of momentum on our team, and it's really a blessing. And I just appreciate all the loyalty everyone on our team has shown me. And that's really months and months of hard work and years of hard work coming to fruition as our agency is hitting the top contract. And I know we can't announce things, but we're already way over with all the metrics and verified all that. But we're going to power through till Friday. But the best part is we have new top producers like Shannon Turner, and people in agency owner qualification like Leanna Mason, Ryan Gaska, Rob Skinner. Somehow we're gonna get Laurie Asbenson on here because she just wrapped up her 3rd month. And so I thought it'd be great to talk about what each of these unique people have done to trigger that action response, to take action. And when you hear some of the numbers that some of these people have put up, and they haven't even been here a year yet, it's gonna give you some belief. Diverse backgrounds, different age groups, different parts of the country, and just proof that symmetry model. If you become system driven and you follow the system, then you're going to have the results. So we're excited to share with the whole company today, Brandon and Casey.
I'm excited to have all of you on. Yeah. Casey, we feel like this is our only opportunity these days to get to see new faces and meet people. And it's always exciting for us to be able to do that as well. The world is opening though. We've been hearing about meetings actually happening.
Yep.
So we got some of those coming up. We got a good one today though. We got several great announcements. Do we have a video that we want to kick off with?
Let's do it if so.
I think we do.
2020. We're tackling the next Gregorian cycle with our sights on bigger and better things.
Cut.
I'm sorry. I didn't even see that in the script.
We're getting the band back together.
We're getting the band back together.
We're getting the band back together. We're getting the band back together. Yeah.
I didn't put my next line. So those are our 8 core values.
Hey Griff, play my ringtone real quick.
Kind of like a mullet. Business on the top, comfy pants on the bottom.
Okay, gotcha. Way to be picky, guys.
Wow. Together with Brian, we have 70 years of experience in the insurance industry. Most of that is from Brian because he's getting old.
Come on.
We certainly hope they resonate with you, as these values are what help to protect and shape our culture.
Oh, don't leave him hanging.
Oh, sorry.
How's that? What the French toast? Shiitake mushrooms, Marlin Faulkner, cheese and crackers, son of a prince.
John Matt.
Yeah.
Hey, can't get ready for that easy.
Brandon, what are we playing, brother?
That's not the question.
In the year.
Give it up for Mike, everybody!
Yeah, we're not doing that part. We're doing that.
Oh, good times, Brandon. Good times.
Man, there's some funny stuff in there for sure. I cracked up when I saw there's so many of them when Roddy's running through the woods and stops at the little love thing.
That was a great one.
That's fantastic. Marlon Faulkner getting hit in the head with that 5 Hour Energies great every time. Yep. I need to wake up with one of these blooper reels every morning. I think it would.
And the most recent blooper, which was Resma,
oh yeah,
you know, taking a dive off the stage there, which is
and it worked.
Quite the staff favorite here for sure.
We've been averaging a third of the DFL production that we did this week after one boot camp. One boot camp, he's grown DFL by 300%.
That's pretty good.
We're full this week.
We're just getting started.
I think there's one tomorrow too. I better just start the PowerPoint because I'm gonna hit all my announcements and be wrong with them. So
on that note, just so everyone, just as a reminder, next week, remember, we're changing our call flow a little bit. We're going to go 12:30 to 1 o'clock Eastern is going to be the builders and leaders call. And so anyone that's interested in building an agency with our company, you should jump on at 12:30. And then the 1 o'clock call will start as normal. So we'll kind of roll right into the 1 o'clock call. And then we're going to try to keep the national calls, this call, we're going to try to start keeping that an hour and a half max. Because we know Brandon and I get, we start to yapping away and carrying on too much.
Not us.
We're going to try to kind of respect everyone's time on Wednesdays and shorten that national call just a touch. So just as a reminder, that kicks off next week.
We might want to really yap on today for a while since it's our last chance for yapping.
True. It's very true.
We got Darren on too. He'll help us yap.
Yeah.
I can help him.
Thank you. All right, let's see what we got today. Hey, by the way, did I tell you, Casey, that we broke an all-time record this week?
Yeah, this deserves a round of applause from everyone on the screen and everyone out there.
Look here.
It was a monster week.
I'm bringing in the GOAT for this one.
We asked for y'all's help. We sweetened the pot with some ears, and you guys delivered with a absolute monster.
By like $100,000 in premium. Yep. And that's just field. So it was an overall record for Quilty as well. But just field Symmetry record by over $100,000 in production. Pretty awesome. Here are the new writers that helped with that. Stephanie, Garlinda, and Britt Babb. $12,819 for Britt. Woo!
Good first week out.
I know. Let's see what you do second week, Britt. Go get them. Christopher Leak. This is overall production. Raina Perkins. Julia Mullins, $23,785. That's a heck of a week. App counters. Delia Campbell for the top 3. Christopher Leak and Harrison Zipkin.
Delia Campbell.
Delia. All right,
She's
I'm going to remember
mine.
that. All right. I got to look at it for just about 30 more seconds. Y'all bear with me.
It's all good.
Delia.
Love you, sweet lady.
Delia. 20 apps. I won't forget that. Well done, Delia. Medicare Sups. Ethan Richardson at the top with 6,100. DI Producers. Melissa Post at the top. Who we got for IUL production? These are big numbers too. Look at JJ Griffin. Candace Jones, 16,324. Rodney Hill and James Rustman, 1 and 2. Jim, $220,000 in annuity volume. Well done, sir. Here's the DFL group we were just talking about. Colton's back in it. Richard Osterhout, $15,308. We did almost $200,000, Casey, of DFL production. Since the pandemic, we'd averaged around 65,000. We've gotten up, and then we kind of come back down a little bit because people were more focused on mortgage protection and that sort of thing. But I have a feeling that with Mr. Resma at the helm, it's going to be exciting.
DFL could double our company in the next 18 to 24 months.
Yep, that's what he's pushing for.
It's that big. It's that big of an opportunity. So, exciting stuff.
It is exciting stuff. Overall recruits, this is the number we want to see keep growing. Pogue at the top. Cook, Jimenez, and Else all tied for 8 or with 8. And then on the directs board, Jacob Pogue with 35. Well done. Chris Cook and Kevin Purdy, well done also. These are the licensed recruits. Starting to see a lot more licensed recruits. Man, there are a lot of licensed agents out there that need our help, Casey. Go get them.
Yep.
Not you personally. You can.
Try.
Be nice if you would. 3-way tie on the base shot board with Dana Else, Edward Pritchett, and the Popeye. And then Kevin Purdy atop with 12 in the licensed recruit board. I like it. New writers, Jacob Pogue, first place with 5. Kevin Purdy, look at this. 3-way tie, Pogue, Monteith, and Purdy with 6. Eileen Balmer killing it. Pritchett killing it with 5. All of these on the directs board, continuing to kill it is what I like to see, Casey.
Yep.
In their base, most of it probably in their base. Well done. New record for seasoned new agents as well.
Man, look at this, guys. We looked at the data going back before we started putting a focus on this seasoned new agent deal, and on a weekly basis, we were kind of in the 4, 5, 6, 8 seasoned new agents, which is good. But it's amazing what happens when we all, as leaders, put a focus on activating agents. You're starting to see, last week was a monster too. So we're starting to see 14, 15, 16, 18, 19, 20 new seasoned agents a week. Keep it up.
Keep it up. I want to see the managers that are really driving this as well. You can see a couple of names on here twice or a couple.
What was the stat we looked at? One of the definitions we used behind the scenes is a habitual writing agent, like somebody who's pretty much with us. And I think if you hit SNA, you have like a 90% chance of being a habitual writer with that, like an actual, on the team. So this is important.
We'll share that with the managers probably as early as next week on what numbers you should be looking at and how you should be kind of focusing on that. But it's seasoned new agents to habitual writers or habitual lead takers, and how we're going to help you kind of track those things by giving you the data that's coming up soon through HQ as well. So a lot of stuff to look forward to, man. Number 1 key leader for the week, Sarah Reinecke, $40,665.
Nice. There's Leanna too. Good work.
I see you, Leanna. Well done. Agency owners, look at them all. Whoo! $49,371. Way to go. Agency directors, Melissa Weigel.
Nice.
Another almost $50,000 week.
Man.
Eileen Balmer is killing it on the rad board.
Yes.
320.
Love that.
Darren, what do you think about that picture of Capistrano? We were making comments on it last week. It's a really good picture, isn't it?
It is a good
Looks like
picture.
the Godfather right there.
Yeah.
Living up to his name.
Tony's guapo. He's a good looking dude.
He is. It's a great pick. MVPs. There you are, Darren. The marvelous one sitting atop this week, Marlon Faulkner. Kyle and Lisa Kimbrell. It's another good picture of your upline, buddy. $212,934.
Bang tank.
Look at that.
56. Man, everybody's killing it.
Everybody is killing it. I need to check because we
We're on a roll.
Spivey, we got a special guest that's supposed to be coming up here in a little while, and I'm just being reminded, but I don't know that I'm seeing him on the screen here.
He is just touched down. He was on a red-eye flight all night, just landed.
All right.
He's actually coming in town to spend some good time with his buddy Delaney. So he is trying to get off the plane right now and join us ASAP.
All right. Good. We got time. We got some babblers on here, as we said. Kevin Purdy, atop with 412,000 on the executive vice president board. Man, thank you. Y'all should see the coffee. Look how much espresso Katie just brought me, Casey. That's not going to help with the no babbling process.
We're in for a long one today, guys.
Oh, man, that's delightful. Any of you guys that don't have an espresso machine, you need to get one. We fell in love with them in St. Martin. You remember, Casey, or St. Thomas?
Uh-huh.
And we came back shortly after that, bought this. We've had this one machine now for about 4 years. Probably makes, what do you think, 20 coffees a day?
It's a workhorse, man. That thing is just the little engine that kept on.
Yeah, we descaled it once.
Yeah.
After 3 years, Darren, we cleaned it once. I don't know.
That's good coffee, brother. Little bit of memory in there.
Yeah, exactly. Look at that record week from Pogue. Matt and Brad Smith killing it. Lynn Watkins, 776. I mean, it's clear why we had a record-breaking week, because look at all these huge numbers.
Yep.
Look at Pritchett, 968. Marshall Whalen over $1 million, baby. I don't think it's a record for Marshall, but that's real close.
Yeah.
That's real close. And last but not least, our directs. Mr. Kevin Purdy sitting atop with $412,000.
Nice.
Well done.
Good job, guys. Good week.
Yes.
Keep it rolling. And all signs point to another record this week. So
We were up as of yesterday, $300,000 over where we were this time last week.
We got some momentum rolling, guys.
I think it's the McConaughey factor.
It might be.
It's just taking us a while to catch up with it.
Yep.
All right. Y'all ready to see some big numbers?
Yes.
Good Lord. Marshall Whalen, we need to borrow some money.
Bonus
Money right here. Do you see where the thing I love about these numbers? I love looking at Pritchett's numbers as well, and then still seeing him on the directs leaderboard and the base shop leaderboard every week.
Yeah, I love that.
Man, that's a sign of some massive income. Lynn Watkins, $81,000. Man, I saw the best. I don't Facebook, but I had somebody send me the best Facebook message from Danny Young and his family.
Yeah.
Yeah, Casey?
I did last night. Kind of brought some tears to my eyes a little bit.
Cried like a little baby. So good, man. If y'all haven't seen it, you need to look it up. It was amazing. Jamie Susie, I'm getting word, as a key leader, did $26,000 in premium as well.
Nice.
Deshaun Monteith sitting at the top with bonuses, $6,400 almost. Brian Green, $5,100 as a producer. Total bonuses paid out $880,297. That's a record too.
Nice.
Record-breaking net place numbers for March. Record-breaking, obviously, when that happens, record-breaking bonuses are sure to follow. Man, we're just barely past the first quarter, and we've already paid out $2.4 million in bonuses. It's going to be a good year, y'all.
To the compensation, if you're new on the phone, that's in addition to what all the carriers pay us for our normal compensation for sales and agency volume.
Yes.
This is corporate bonus stuff going out monthly to the tune of 2.3 million year to date. Pretty nice.
Pretty nice indeed. Oh man, we got the saddest text and email yesterday from Marlon Faulkner. I'll just read this. The great sadness that members of our Quilty family, Anna and Jordan Burton, lost their 1-month-old baby girl. Passed away unexpectedly on April the 23rd. Please, please, please pray for the family. The viewing is going to be held for Little Eleanor on May the 2nd. And anybody that wants to donate to that family, we're trying to raise enough money for funeral arrangements and hopefully a little bit more. But you can see the GoFundMe link here. Anybody that's listening and not watching, GoFund.me/E3D5FA7D. We'll get that out on social media as well to make sure that everybody has access to that.
It's heartbreaking, man.
That is heartbreaking. Really sorry to hear that. Level Up Conference now available. A couple of other announcements on QualityU. We've got a frequently asked questions document for HQ. Also there at the address you can see, hq.quility.com/support. Other resources tab. And then we got a whole lot of upcoming events that people need to take note of. A My Health overview tomorrow, 11 o'clock. Many people are already taking advantage of that. If you don't know what that is, tune in because it's a great opportunity for 1099 people to get a form of health insurance that is very, very affordable. We have Mr. Pritchett coming in for the Monday sales training call. And this is the big one we were talking about. Starting next Tuesday, May 4th and the 5th, we've got debt-free living. Actually, this is just next week's conference call that he's starting. 11 o'clock Tuesdays, 11 Eastern, debt-free living by Mr. Mike Resma. If you haven't registered for his boot camps yet, you need to do that because they're all full until I want to say mid-May. I think there's a few spots left in the mid-May, but we're gonna get Mike on soon. There he is walking by there. Every time I see him, he's walking. If he's got his headset in, he's not yelling. If he doesn't have his headset in, he's usually yelling about something.
Yeah, you're
The
right.
fired up person I think I've been around in a while. Builder's call, as you said, starting next week, 12:30. Special guest to follow. And then this is a big one. We've had several questions on, wanting to host some more tech product questions and answer sessions. So Thursdays, May 6th, that's going to be the Quilty Tech Owner Circle overview with Mr. Dylan Hensley. So come there with any and all questions. You will not regret it.
Really good feedback so far from everyone.
All right, here's the big one.
Yeah, man.
Contest time. We got a 6-week contest and we're giving away some good stuff. We've been alluding to it for the last 2 weeks. It starts Saturday. No sandbagging allowed. If you get caught sandbagging, what's the punishment, Casey?
No
It needs to be
contest.
harsh and swift.
No contest.
You get kicked out of the contest?
You're out. No cheating.
Oh man, you can't cheat around here. That ain't good. That means you don't have a chance to go to Steamboat Springs, Colorado.
Sandbagging means that you sell business before this upcoming Saturday when the contest starts, and you just hold that business for next week's tournament. Can't do that though, because you gotta date those applications. We're gonna look at that. So
Integrity matters.
it does.
So the first place winner on the producer. So we're going back to the Symmetry Open format. Everybody in the company is a winner, or wait, excuse me. Everybody in the company is a contestant. You start off as a winner. We can say that. Everybody has a chance to win. After the 6 weeks are over, the top producer, and we'll explain all the rules here in just a second. This is what you get to choose between: a 1-week stay, private 4 seasons, 4-bedroom resort villa in Mexico. And you also can choose the Steamboat Springs option as well. Okay, so here's how it's going to work, guys. Round 1 is actually 2 weeks. The first 2 weeks of May, all agents are going to compete. After May 14th, the top 500 producers advance to round 2. Round 2 will consist of 1 week where all 500 are competing and the top 250 are advancing. Round 3, 1 week. All these rules and everything will be on HQ and the website. So don't, if you get confused, you can go check it out. Round 3, the top 250 will compete and then whittle down to the top 100. And then round 4 is another 2 weeks where the top 100 are going against each other. And the top 5 cumulative point getters are going to be competing, or the top 5 winners will win. We'll go over the rule, or we'll go over the what you can win here in just a second. Here's the new rule, though. I kind of jumped ahead. We got a mulligan rule. For those of you that have been here with us long enough, it's kind of like the Pancho Villa rule, which we had a good laugh about the other day. That's good Pancho Villa. He would come in and kind of wreck your bracket like Pancho Villa would do. You remember?
Mm-hmm.
Those are good times.
Good memories.
So everybody's in this contest. Even if you get booted out of round 1, 2, or 3, you can still compete, Darren. You're not a total loser yet.
Glad to know.
Just because you've gotten kicked out doesn't mean that you can't get back in. The top 5 people with a minimum of 20 points is going to get a mulligan and can compete in the top 100. So maybe you have a vacation planned, or maybe you get to COVID, or maybe something happens that knocks you out. You can still compete. Okay, so it's really the top 105. Okay, so the top 105 in round 4 with a minimum, the top 5 that get the mulligan have to have a minimum of 20 points. How do you get points? 1 point per app, 1 point per recruit. Okay, first place winner, as we said, Mexico or Steamboat. Second place, it's your choice. You get to pick either one. The dates all are already set on these because these were things that we bid on with the Make-A-Wish Foundation. Okay, so some of this is kind of outside of our control on when you go. We'll get all those details to you, but it will be soon, July or August, I believe. Okay, second place gets $500. Third place gets $250. Fourth place gets 100 Symmetry. All these are Symmetry bucks that you can do for lead credits, anything in the store. Fifth place, you get a polio vaccine from 1980. So we're still trying to track down the polio vaccine. I think it's been eradicated. We're not sure. Might be hard to find that, but if you're in fifth place, you really don't deserve anything anyway. I'm sorry if that's harsh. At least we're letting third place win something. Usually we don't even let third place win anything. People will get mad. I don't. Remember people used to have to sing and dance on stage?
Third place used to always be something terrible. Now it's moved down to fifth place. So, well.
Yeah.
Follow the policy, dance around.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
You have to dress up as Polly the Policy and bring people in. You were the mascot. That's right. God, those were good times. Really good times. May the 1st says, may the course be with you. I like that for all you Star Wars people. Were you a Star Wars person, Darren?
Star Wars, yeah. I like Star Trek a little more, but it's all good.
Oh, you're more of a Trekkie than
Yeah.
a Star Warsy. Okay. I see Ryan. He went like, I don't know about that. Yeah, he's much more of a Star Wars guy. Are you more of a Star Wars guy, Ryan?
Oh yeah, definitely Star Wars. Every opportunity.
All right, I like that. Shannon's like, I don't watch any of that crap. I don't know what you are talking about. Nope. I hear you. All right, let's see if we've got our special guest on. I don't know that he's quite here yet. We may have to come back to him. Mr. Spieldenner. What are you hearing, Todd?
Yeah, he is just now getting ready to touch down. So we will have to come back to him, I'm afraid.
So we wanted Jimmy to talk about, and he'll still come back and talk about it, I think, hopefully in a little while, how a contest can really change your life. And it's not just, we're not just kind of blowing things out of proportion. Jimmy wins a contest. A year later, he goes to Brazil on the company dime, and he comes back with a girlfriend that would later become his wife. And you can see here the beautiful family that came out of that. Results may vary. You win this contest and you're already married, we may not really recommend coming home with another spouse, partner.
True.
But there are a lot of people that have gone on these trips and they all come back and they say the same thing. The trip is great. It's a memory of a lifetime. That's one of the things. It's not the thing, The thing is kind of setting the new bar for yourself and understanding like how much activity you can pour in and the results that come out of that. Those are habits and lessons that you take really for the rest of your career, It's the
habits.
It's the habits.
It really is.
I love this picture of Jimmy up in the top right-hand corner here with Sencha and see the giraffes coming in. I don't know. That might freak me out. How would you, if you're sitting there at breakfast and a giraffe comes in and starts eating your eggs, how are you going to handle that, Casey?
I'm going to slap it, man. Those are my eggs.
There's going to be some ticked off people in the chat.
Sorry, I mean,
slapping giraffes.
Do it away.
This is not the type of world we live in anymore. I don't know. They've got really big tongues too. I hear. I don't know. Big animals kind of freak me out, man. I don't even like being around cows. They just seem a little unreliable, right?
Yeah.
Rob, you know what I'm saying? Like if a cow could have, he could kill you any second he wanted to.
Horses too. Horses scare me.
I don't like horses. I mean, I like looking at them.
Yeah. I think you get stung by a bee or spooked by a firecracker or something like unexpectedly and just kick you right off. I like to be in control.
Or just having a really bad day in general. Could be really mad at you. Sees like you leave, you go inside, you get to eat whatever you want, you sleep in this comfortable bed. Meanwhile, he's got to stand up all day and eat grass. That would piss me off after a while. I don't know if they think the way that we do though, Darren.
Hey, growing up on a farm, man, lots of cows, lots of livestock. It's paying the butt.
Yeah. So who do you got on your team, Darren, that's going to win the Symmetry Open?
Oh boy, I tell you what, there's some top producers, elite producers right here. I guess we could call out all these wonderful agents, but you're looking at some of the cream of the crop on the PacWest Agency. This list of people is always on the top of the leaderboard. Skinner, Shannon Turner, Ryan, new agency owners qualifying, all those. And Leanna and Laurie. And so, we've got a lot of horsepower in our team and we're really excited about where we're at and where we're going, more
I
important.
like the stage that a lot of you guys, a lot of the panelists are in today, because I think, there's a lot of people in our company that are newer and, they need to hear from you guys. They need to hear from people getting traction at those earlier phases of agency ownership and key leader and a little bit beyond that, because that you guys are in the dogfight. You have the smoke of battle on you. You're kind of learning how to balance personal production and some of the challenges that come with that. You also are experiencing some of the rewards that come from doing it correctly. So love the stage we're in right now with you guys. Brandon, on this note, kind of about top producers and stuff like that, do we want to hit on this pilot lead program real quick while we're waiting on Jimmy too?
So a couple of things. It seems like it's perfect timing for a contest. Everybody's back from spring break. Everybody's ready to kind of get after it. We were up 1,000 leads last week, which was up 2,000 leads from 6 weeks ago. Not just in, but out.
Yep.
We've been working on, and Joe's team specifically has been working on some partnerships for digital leads that we think could be a game changer. Some things that you guys are going to have access to. We don't really like just rolling out lead programs without trialing them. So we have some agents that trial things for us. Really what we would like to do is all the directs are going to get an email coming out probably today, sometime this week, if not today, asking you to send some agents up to us that would be willing to trial some leads. They're going to be dirt cheap. We're splitting the cost on the leads. No app splits or anything like that. We'll be splitting the cost on the leads. So they're going to be, I don't know, $10 a lead.
They'll be cheaper than what they will be after the pilot for sure. We're going to have to raise the cost some, even though they'll still be subsidized as all of our leads are with the company. But through a pilot and a trial phase, we kind of want to help out even a little bit more because, as Brandon said, they may be very awesome, but it's pilot, so they may also not be very good. Which is the beauty of our lead department, guys. I've been so proud of in the last few months as we've dug into, as we've dug in with some of our consultants as far as what's out there. And one of the things they've acknowledged about our company is our marketing and lead department, and how there are companies that they have looked at and evaluated that were worth $2 billion that didn't have the capabilities that our lead department has. And even in the last few weeks, we've been in meetings about really getting smart with our leads, even smarter with our leads than we already are, as far as like we can track exactly what the value per lead is and be very transparent with our sales force about what the ROI is on each lead category. And we're even getting so smart to be able to track that to the agent that may be best suited to work that type of lead. I mean, we're just getting super, super smart with our leads and really all of our business. These pilots are going to come up. We're going to get more opportunities to kind of get leads out. But we don't just want to, as Brandon said, throw those out to the sales force without caution, because that could be dangerous for an agent to purchase 10, 15, 20 leads when we don't really know what kind of quality are we dealing with here. And so that's why there's a need for these pilots, but there's also in that pilot, there's a need for, the right kind of agent, Brandon.
Yes. I think that's key. Is we're looking for about 30 agents that want to be part of a trial, not just for this trial, but this is Digital Partner 1. We got Digital Partner 2 coming out really within 3 weeks, 4 weeks. It's exciting to us for so many reasons. Number one, we think the leads are going to be good. We think they're going to be affordable. And we think that we could literally double the number of leads that we have going out as a company, which right now is around 14,000 leads a week, not counting bonus leads. 14,000 A leads a week are under management from Symmetry going out to you guys. We can get up to 14,000 more a week just with these two partnerships. Okay. But we got to make sure that they're good. So what we would love is, you don't necessarily have to be an elite producer or a top producer. We do want people coming up to us that are A, good producers, B, quick callers, quick dollars. Most important thing with digital leads, as we've seen, is that the second you get it, or within minutes of you getting it, can you be on the phone? Can you hire someone to be on the phone for you? How quickly can you get in touch with that client? Because that makes the biggest difference. Close ratios could go up by as much as 30, 40%. That's how big of a difference it makes. Okay. And then I think the third thing that we really want to see is someone that can give really good, honest, productive feedback. You know, we want strong agents that understand if I'm working direct mail and I'm closing 40%, that's really good. And I may close 40% with one, you know, with two households, maybe three households, right? So I might get a husband and a wife. So when I'm calling digital leads and I'm getting Darren a 40%, 30% close ratio, how's that going to be equivalent to what we're seeing? Or if they're half price, can I get half the close ratio and they be still just as good? Yep. Right?
Yeah, I think there's an opportunity to definitely dive into that. In fact, you have your first volunteer right here, Mr. Rob Skinner, already texted me 4 times. I'm in. All right, we'll call you out right now on the national call. Count Rob in.
Count him in.
One of the other qualities that we look for in pilots and beta testers like this is, you know, a non-emotional situation where, you know, because a lot of times, especially with new agents, sometimes they come in and they get a little bit more tied to the response. You know, they start hearing more no's and they think, well, these leads are bad because there's more no's. Don't get emotional about the response. Get emotional about the math if you're going to get emotional about it. What did I invest for that block of leads and what did it return me? I could have got twice as many no's, but if the lead was half the cost of my other leads, then it washes out to the same. And so I'm not going to get emotional about rejection or the responses. I'm going to get emotional about the numbers and the math of it all. So we want you guys, you directs out there and anyone on this call, go up through your agency owner or your direct agency, the top line agent, and you know, lob yourself up there as a volunteer. But again, we want to see producers. So we don't want, you know, nominations to be people who, you know, are only doing a couple $1,000s a month or something like that part-time. We want to see producers. We want to see people who have good close ratios on leads anyways, decent close ratios. We want to see people who call their leads very quickly and are non-emotional about the responses, more emotional about the math. Anything else, Brandon?
I don't think so. Yeah, we're going to have a lot of people saying that they want to be a part of the program, applying for it. Like it's extra work because most of you are already taking a GMR. You have X amount of leads that are coming in. You may have to take 3 to 5 or maybe even 10 more of these a week. At $10, it's not a huge investment, but it is extremely important. Again, we can't stress this enough, how quickly you get in touch with these clients. Yeah. They're not mortgage protection leads, they're life insurance leads. And so it could be a little more National Life Group, could be a little more Forrester's Your Term, could be, you know, price could be a consideration here. In other words, but we do a ton of that business already. So like I said, we're looking for 25, 30 people, and it won't be just this one. It will be, you know, coming up several different opportunities between affinity partnerships and other digital companies that we're partnering with. Yeah, so go up through your directs. Emails are going to come to directs this week. Directs, we want you to bring us 1, 2, 3, 4 people out of your organizations that kind of fit that bill. The other thing that you guys are all going to be getting this week, the last announcement I've got, Casey, is you guys will be getting surveys from Brian Williamson. It will probably be AO's key leaders. It might be top and elite producers, definitely all of the top people in the organization. The surveys that we're going to be looking for will take you 15 minutes to fill out. And he has requested that you be extremely honest. We will not be sharing it with you, or we will not be sharing it with anyone else. But really what we're looking for is, what was your background? You know, did you have a license before you came here? Did you use that license before you came here? Were you an independent contractor before you came here? Or were you a W-2 employee? What are some of the characteristics that you feel like you have that are strong? Be it grit, be it loyalty, you know, do you manage your activity well? Those things. This will be probably the first in a series of surveys that we're going out. And really what this is meant to do is help us hone in on what the perfect profile for a field agent really looks like. Right now, it feels like we're fishing from the ocean, and we want all of you to be able to fish from a smaller pond. We want you to be able to know that Maybe bartenders do really well at this. I think of Jacob Pogue. I think of Ayers Newsom. I think of Cicely Newsom. I think of me. I think of, there's so many people. And I know all of you would love to go recruit at the bars. Okay. So we're not saying that yet. Maybe it will show us that. Maybe it will show us that people that had a 1099 background are a little more likely to make it here. Darren, makes sense? People that have been W-2, and there's always several cases where people will kind of break the standard, so to speak. But if we're saying that you are X% more likely to have a lot more success here if you fit into this category, then we want to be able to empower you guys with that so that you can go fishing a stocked pond.
Sure.
Having a bunch of lines out in the ocean. Okay. Doesn't mean that we're going to tighten the funnel. That's the most important thing we always say, Casey. Doesn't mean that we're going to tighten the funnel and let fewer people in. It just means we're going to try to show this opportunity to the people that may be a little bit more of a fit for them.
Mhm.
Okay. I never had a W-2 job. So that probably helped me. Casey, you were probably the same way. Actually, you did. You were a plumber's assistant, like literally the crappiest job you can have. Okay. So if you were going to have a W-2 background, hopefully it was a really crappy job and it made you realize how you needed to go sell insurance.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay. Let me get a show of hands just of our speakers today. How many of you came from, either running your own business or kind of being in charge of your own income, self-employed, 1099, that sort of thing? Okay. Shannon, what were you doing?
I have a bachelor's degree in health science. I was a dental hygienist for 10 years.
Nice. Nice. And Ryan, I didn't see you raise your hand either, right?
Yeah, 15 years in retail management.
Okay.
I survived and got out alive.
Was it one of those crappy jobs that we talked about with Casey where it's like it just really drove you? It's like, man, there's got to be a better way.
I think we were in competition for worse.
That used to be one of our favorite things to do at a meeting. We would go around the room and say,
The worst job.
had the worst job
Yeah.
in the room. The worst one that we found was a lady that was disposing of dead mice after they were doing trials of radiation treatments or something like that.
Yeah, that's right. I remember that.
A lot of people working on sewage lines, that sort of thing. I've been an insurance agent most of my life, so I can't complain. But answer those surveys quickly, get them back to us. Pretty soon it will come into HQ to where, it's much easier to do it. For right now, it's going to be coming to you via email. It may be ready by Friday to be inserted into HQ as well. That was the last of my announcements, I think. Casey, you got anything else?
Nope, just let's keep the momentum rolling.
Yes.
Keep recruiting up, it's about double-digit recruiting for all of you out there trying to get to this point where a lot of the people on the screen are getting to, where you're going to start seeing 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, 5,000 a month coming in passively before you get out of bed. That's what we do best here. We show people how to get free of trading time for money quicker than anyone else I don't even think this industry, in any industry.
Yeah.
We have it proven. We pop out one a week right now and growing people who are agency owners who are getting a taste of that kind of time and money. That's our mission. That's what we do. So, but it takes, you got to listen to the call today. It takes that grit, that balancing act of learning how to produce and recruit at high levels. The good news is for all of you guys who understand how to produce, the same formula for producing is the same formula for recruiting. You can't make it in this business going 5 appointments a week. You'll go broke. It's not going to happen unless you're just not working leads. But you can't book 5 appointments a week or 8 appointments a week and make it. You got to book 12, 15, 20 appointments, whatever the number is. It's the same numbers game with recruiting. You can't recruit 2 people a month and blow business up. You've got to get yourself in a position where you can do enough interviews, turn over enough rocks. I'm just looking under rocks. Yin, yeah, I want to show it to as many people as I can on a daily, weekly basis. And if you do that every day or have a couple days a week that you're focused on it and you do that consistently and you have faith that if you do that work consistently, you'll see a return down the road. The trick with it is it's very faith-based activity. Personal production is now. I go out and make a sale right now. I get paid right now. recruiting is a 90 to 120 day pipeline. And that's why it's tricky for people to be consistent with it. They'll recruit a lot for a week and then they'll die off. They'll recruit a lot 1 month and then they sit on their butt and they start to try to go into this management game. We need more people with our company right now doing double-digit recruiting and keeping their personal production high in the process. We just did a report, Brandon, of a lot of our agency owners' personal production volume. And what I'm afraid we're seeing is we have such a lucrative passive income opportunity that we have our agency owners that go out and they start popping, they start getting agency owner traction and they start seeing 50, 60, 80, $100,000 a month of volume coming in through them and their team. But we look at their personal production and they're doing 10 grand a month or 5 grand a month. And so that tells us is that they're starting to live on their overrides.
Too soon.
Too soon. You're getting yourself in no man's land when you're in that world where you're trying to now live on the overrides from a small team of 5 or 10 people. And now you're going into management world versus follow me. I'm going to go out and outproduce all of you this week. And y'all can come join if you want, and I'm going to take the cash that I get from my personal production and I'm going to invest it in more processes, more marketing, more systems to talk to more people about this business versus I cut my cash flow off because I get out of the field too early. And now I'm sitting in an office trying to manage people and trying to tell them to do something that I'm not even doing myself yet. So again, just if you want to know how to capitalize and jump on this crazy growth train we're on right now and where we're going, you've got to learn to do both, So yeah. That's my message for the day. Let's keep it up.
Dang good one, buddy. It is a dang good one. One more announcement from me. I know I said I had one more, but this is my last one. Symmetry Open is coming up. Not the one that we just rolled out with the contest, but the actual Symmetry Open that we do every year, fundraiser golf tournament. For everybody going to Costa Rica, emails will be coming out on that.
Right.
If you're going to play in it, be prepared to lose. First off, junk, but
not to us.
I think I won last year. My key is can I get Ziller or Pope on my team?
Oh, you did, but you were on the winning team last year, right? I forgot that. I'm sorry. I was trash talking. Actually won.
So it will be coming out. Be coming out soon with emails. So get registered for that. I want to introduce all of these folks on the call real quick because I'm just, Darren, looking over the notes, and I really appreciate you sharing these with me. First off, of course, Darren Stubbs, in your third and last month of qualifying to become a direct,
yes,
averaging over 370,000 or around 370,000, I should say, a month during that run. Looking at your leaders that you have on the call, I understand why those numbers are where they are, man. You've surrounded yourself with some good ones. Leanna Mason, you're a DFL expert.
Trying, get there.
We're always getting
learning.
But you've been here for about 2.5 years. You're a key leader wrapping up month 2 of your AO run, right? So really excited about what you've got going on already. Looking at hovering around 50 grand a month. How much of that is you, Leanna, with DFL?
I think I was just shy of 20,000 this last, usually it's 15 to 20. I'm trying to hit over that 30,000 is the goal, personal.
Nice. I can't wait to hear from you as well. Rob Skinner, you were a car salesman in Alaska.
Car dealer.
Here. Is that right?
That's awesome. Car dealer.
Car dealer. You weren't the salesman. You owned the dealership.
Nice. Yeah.
I like it.
Until 2008, when Chevy shut down about 4,000 dealerships. I was one of them.
Oh man. Yeah.
Got my pink slip, and the only place down was either a lawyer or insurance. So.
So welcome forward, baby. Oh man, but you're averaging around 45 to 50 grand. Actually, you're averaging closer to about 55,000 a month in agency volume as well. So can't wait to hear your story. I know you've been through some setbacks and then coming out in your second month of your AO run. So go get them, buddy.
Thank you.
Get them. Ryan Gaska, in March in January, rather, you did 48,000. February, you did 42,000, a little bit of a dip, shorter month. In March, you did 92 grand. You doubled up. I mean, that's amazing. Well done.
I don't know how I did it either, if you're going to ask me.
I'm not going to ask. I'll let Darren pull it out of you. You came here on a Craigslist ad. Do you remember what the ad said?
A bad Craigslist ad.
Who posted it? Was it Darren?
Tony.
Tony posted it. Let's hear it.
Terrible. The worst Craigslist ad ever. Like stuffing envelopes from home kind of thing.
Do you remember what it said?
It was, something like we're looking for, some of the keywords where we're looking for performers, not resumes, flexible hours, make lots of money kind of thing.
He's like, that wasn't a bad ad, guys. Look, we got.
Well, there was just like lots of bold capitals, exclamation points, underlines, just a lot of just stuff. And it was in Craigslist too.
Yeah, it drew your attention. Like, well, what is this? Right. All these exclamation points.
I know.
But it got me to watch the video.
Yes.
That's the thing. It got me to watch the 5-minute video.
Yeah.
What were you doing at that point, career-wise?
Managing a chain of high-end health food stores here in Sacramento, California. And I don't really have a crazy broken story. I just was burned out. I wanted my holidays back. My kids, they're old enough. They're going to remember what it was like, with dad working or being home or not being home. And I just knew that, it was time to make a change where I can get my time back.
Yeah, it's good.
Awesome. Simple as that. Simple as that.
Good for you, man. Shannon, you already told us that you were a dental hygienist, right? For 10 plus years. Showed up in November of last year. And you've already peaked at around 40,000 a month, which was in January of personal production, but $38,000 in personal production. What made you get it so quickly? You were a dental hygienist. You didn't know anything about sales, I imagine. You didn't have a license until you came here. Is that right?
Correct. Yep. I have a bachelor's degree, and we joke that I'm a cold market recruit from Bumble. I actually met my boyfriend, who was my agency owner, Steven Jackson, last year. And, we started talking about this opportunity over coffee on a first date. And if you, know anything about Steven Jackson, he is very charismatic. He is very passionate about this business, and he is extremely good at selling the sizzle here because he has so much faith, so much belief, and absolutely loves this company. And so, within 2 weeks, he's talking to me about DFL and taking all of my personal information and submitting an application. And I kind of was like, oh, shoot, what if he's a con artist? And the policy went through, got issued, and I was like, okay, he's real and this is real. And so I started the process of getting licensed and got licensed in September, started part-time in October, came on full-time December.
Wow.
December 1st. So, yep.
Wow. What a great start. Well done, Shannon. Can't wait to see where this is going to take you. Be awesome. And then Laurie Asbenson. Am I pronouncing your last name correctly, Laurie? Asbenson?
Yeah, you can say it however you like. It sounds great.
Well, I'm looking at the numbers here, and since January, you've averaged around $70,000 in team volume. You're a single mom with 5 kids, which is like full-time jobs.
I don't put that on my Bumble.
Oh man,
Laurie, right on.
You just have such a great story. You just wrapped up your third month of AO, 72, 77, 65K, 3 months in a row there. Pulled your house out of foreclosure last fall by really jumping in to the system and getting after it. You're just a great story.
Yeah, we gotta let Darren dig that story out.
I can't pull it out of you but I want to. We're gonna let Darren get into it. But guys, Casey and I are just extremely appreciative, of all of you. Obviously, the numbers kind of speak for yourself. For everybody listening in, wanting to learn how, folks do it. I love what you said earlier, Darren. You've got, people from all over, people from various backgrounds that, if they show up and they plug into the system and they work hard. I think that's the key. Is you got some people over here that are willing to just really bust their butts for a while to make it happen. And that's what shows up in the numbers. That's how you make it go. You gotta be a hard worker around here, System can be as good as it is, but if you ain't gonna work it, it ain't gonna work for you. And you're a perfect example of that too, Darren. I've always really connected with your story. Sounds a little bit like Rob's, 2007, man, you were plugging along. And what was your occupation and income kind of before the world fell apart?
So the quick story, I went to college, majored in finance and economics, started my career on Howe Avenue in Sacramento, California, in 1987 as a stockbroker working for Waddell & Reed, then moved to Merrill Lynch and Monarch Capital, an insurance group. And then I got into the mortgage banking industry in the early 90s. I always wanted to move back to Boise, so I did, started my own company, had a tremendous run. At one point, at the peak, we had about 6 offices and hundreds of people working for us, and we made millions. It was incredible. And then the collapse of the secondary money market at 45 years old, 2008, 2009, I found myself bankrupt, homeless, and foreclosed on. And sharing time, raising kids back and forth, and being a single parent and co-parenting, it's tough, and it all comes down to a choice. So I didn't have a lot of choice, and I worked on some other projects. And then Tony Capistrano called me in January 2016 and kind of like, yo, bro, there's these guys in North Carolina, but it wasn't you, it was a practice company. And so that was 5 years ago. Last weekend is when Tony and I and Eric Ondrick and Jaron Davis took a bunch of people to the practice company conference, and Kyle and Lisa no-showed. And the guy running the company hammered us all weekend long. Where's Kimbrell? Where's Kimbrell? I'm like, dude, I just met the guy 3 months ago. I don't know where he's at. Turns out he was with you guys and Pope and Jacob Pope and Danny and Ashley and Ryan Miller and all the rest of the great people in Phoenix. So I'm very thankful for Kyle that he sniffed out that guy's ego was not a safe place for us long-term. And for the record, we all took a big contract pay cut to come here to Symmetry. And all of us have made millions now at Symmetry. So it's just exciting.
I love your story because, so many people can relate to that, either from 2008, 2009, or 2020. That's why I think we were net 10 million jobs lost as of January or February. And there's so many people out there that need what we have. Insurance agents or not insurance agents, as you can see, from all walks of life. But you said it, man, you got a choice. When you get kicked in the gut, you can either become a victim or you can stand up and make it happen, And the thing I love about this industry and specifically about this company is there's this redemptive quality to it. We're great for people getting started in the insurance business, but we're also great for people that have had a massive amount of success. We have so many people in the organization that have had $200,000, $300,000, $400,000, $500,000 incomes and beyond, and lost all of it.
I'm one of those.
Darren, you're one of those people. And the thing I love about you is that the vast majority of those folks, they don't come back from that. And you came back from that. And that's what I love about this business is if you've won big in the past and you got to start over, man, the same qualities that made you win big in the past will allow you to win here, and you can get there so much faster.
Yeah. I read a great quote talking about that. If you have to start over, you're not starting out from scratch. You're starting out from a place of wisdom.
Yeah.
Hindsight. What mistakes did I make in the past? How can I change that and not step in the same trap in the future?
Yeah.
And I feel blessed because, it's been a process, and I came here, Brandon, with you and I talked about this with a lot of anger, a lot of frustration in my life. How the hell did I get to 51 years old and not own a home and not have a consistent career and no chance at retirement? Thinking, my God, I'm going to be the nicest guy selling fishing licenses at Walmart around the corner if I don't do something. And coming here, it's like the light came on, and that burning desire and that hope inside, that pilot light turned on, it triggered. And that's what we're going to talk about that today, is how do you trigger that response inside yourself to take action? That's kind of the theme of what we're going to be discussing today. And then showing from different walks of life, how each person has used the Symmetry system to impact and change their life. And that's kind of the journey we're going to go on today.
Love it, man. I got a couple of questions for you. What is the biggest things that you've had to change about yourself personally to get to where you are now over the past 5 years? As you said, you came in angry, you came in a touch broken. What are some of the things that you've had to learn, maybe even the hard way, or some lessons that you've picked up? But what are some of those things that you've had to change?
I would say probably the first thing is letting go of past failures, letting go of, being a victim. Oh, this happened to me, or this happened to me, and this person took from me, and this girlfriend cheated on me, and this happened, that happened. Just kind of swallowing my pride and getting coachable, getting back to a place of being able to receive coaching and getting my ego out of the way. And I appreciate, people don't know it, but Brandon and Casey and I, we kind of butted heads from the beginning a couple times, a couple strong personalities. And it turns out Brandon and I are a lot more alike than we originally thought. And that's okay to be a strong personality. Pope took me aside early and said, hey, look, Darren, you got a lot of talent, a lot of skill, but man, if you can't be coachable, you can't be humble, you're probably not going to make it at this company. Because it's not about you, it's about us and we. And gosh, I'm just so thankful I listened to that. And then, Doug stepped in early on, it was early days, because he could see that I was struggling and in pain, and said, look, Darren, here's a book for you. I want you to read this. Are you willing to accept some coaching from me? And I'm like, yes. And then getting through the giant process with Mark and with Brian Williamson, and just bonding with those guys and allowing myself to receive coaching and keeping my ego out of the way. That was hard, really hard, because I'm used to being the boss. I'm used to being the CEO. In fact, one of my daughters, when she was 10 and I was explaining that the company was going out of business, my daughter Cassidy, she put her hand on her hip and very precarious as a 10-year-old will do and say, Dad, you can't lose your job. You're the boss man. I'm like, well, Daddy is losing his job. And, it's just, so that was probably one of the biggest things. And then 2 would be stop looking at what I've lost and start focusing on how I can help others. If you go out and help other people get what they want, you can get what you want. And so it just took a little bit of a while to get to that personal meat grinder and toggling that switch in my mind of stop bringing up the past, stop focusing on the past. We live in the present and we live in the future. And then embracing the journey, just accepting it's going to be a lot of hard work and choosing consciously to full speed and head down and focus. So
I love it, man. I love it. And I love how you said it's maybe I'm putting words in your mouth. It was obviously hard work. It's probably the hardest work you've ever had to do. Right. And they say,
tough, yeah.
That self-awareness piece is the first step towards emotional intelligence. And that's what really allows you to become the type of person that has success. Everybody sees where they want to go and what they want, and the things they want. They don't see what you have to put in to become that. And they think when we say that it's really hard work, that it's the dials or it's the, whatever the work, it's right here. It's right between your ears. And most people are not willing to do that. Most people don't come out of being or seeing themselves as that victim. So kudos to you, man.
Yep.
You've done
letting go of that ego, which is so hard to do. That's your self-image. Everything is tied up in it. Right. And to see someone kind of put their ego in their back pocket and be open to saying, yeah, I need to change. I mean, it's like 2 camps. You got the people that don't do that, and you got the people that are open and that have enough, self-awareness to kind of say, yeah, man, there's all this drama around me, or there's all these relational conflicts around me. Maybe I should look in the mirror, and and I'm not saying this about you, Darren. I'm just saying there are really 2 camps of people out there like that. There's people like Darren who say, yeah, I got things to work on. And there's people who are like, just constantly pointing the finger and never take a moment of self-reflection. And they have massive blind spots. And man, you're never going to be able to lead people and connect people if you're a type of person like that, So, man, it's just so good that you were able to come in and just, put some of that aside and say, man, I want to dig in and figure out how to continue to grow. And look at you now, look at what you guys are accomplishing now.
Yeah, it's amazing how fast, because I've been with Symmetry 4 years and 9 months. And I just was doing some reflection because Tony and Kyle had posted some posts about their 5 years in the journey. And they came first and because I was concentrating on cash flow at the other company. And then I think I signed in July and then started August 1st. And I just, some metrics of where I was and where I'm at. And it's amazing how fast 5 years go by. So if you reflect in your own life, what were you doing 5 years ago? What was the major problem or hiccup or that would just consumed you. And now I bet you can't even remember what that was. But here, you know, like it goes back to that choice, choosing to do the work, choosing to embrace the work, choosing to accept some coaching. And I tell you, man, some of the stuff I had to listen to about myself, but I couldn't see because my walls were up. That stung. That was hard to listen to, very hard to listen to. But I chose to say, well, wait a second. Do I want to be right and revel in my failures and keep my ego and be pissed off with the rest of my life? Or am I willing to humble a little bit and go through some growth? Because, you know, Brandon, Casey, everyone wants the results of personal growth. They just don't want the pain that goes along with it.
Yeah.
And that's that whole thing of focusing on the prize, not the price. And if you cross that little bridge in your mind, then you know, it's kind of like that Disney song, whistle while you work. You're having fun while you're doing the work. And it's like, it's not really that hard. It's just boring and mundane and tedious sometimes.
Yeah. All right. Last question for you. 4 years and 9 months later, how's your life different today?
Well, should we just talk about the finance stuff first? I know that's what people want to ask about the business. I'm talking about some personal things. So I came here with like a 520 credit score. Now it's like 790. When I started the business, I had less than $1,000 to my name. I had no credit cards because, you know, when you go bankrupt, even if you didn't bankrupt on a credit card company, they still take the credit card away from you because you bankrupted on somebody else. I drove a car that constantly broke down. I couldn't eat out the kind of restaurants I wanted to eat. I couldn't do things for my children that I wanted to do or my parents. So, you know, now it's just like I have a wallet full of credit cards I don't even need to use anymore. I have a new car sitting in the garage. And when I first started, Brandon, Casey, I was selling my sofa. I was selling a mountain bike. I was selling tools, a chainsaw, stuff out of the garage to buy leads because it's an inanimate object, but it also has value. It's an asset. It's just not doing anything for you. So I was selling whatever I had to do to buy leads because I knew if I could get the lead machine going, that cash flow, that arbitrage, $400 out in lead expenses or investment, 4,000 APV, 10 to 1. And once I got that going, it was just phenomenal. But today, you know, I'm back in Idaho where I want to be. I'm going to share some pictures of kind of one of my dreams. And I'm going to get to this a little later. This has been on my wall, and I can show you for 4.5 years. It's all tattered up and beat up. But yeah, I have a lot of joy and happiness in my life. I feel much more fulfilled and about helping people. And it's not just about the money, because money won't buy happiness. But what it's about is choice. Power's not in money. Power's in choice. If you can have, and here's the best part, you might be broke right now, but you know what you still have? You have the power of choice. Now, if you stay at this long enough, you're going to be having the financial choice. But if you give up too soon, you just voided out all your hard work and effort.
Yep. Well said, buddy. Proud of you, Darren.
Thank you.
Congratulations, maybe too early, but I don't think so. I think
we got a
team here that's going to make sure you guys push it over. So
we're not done, man. Friday night, everybody on our team, we know we got the numbers, but nope, we're going to just keep on exclamation point, crescendo to the end, all the way to the end.
It's awesome, man. All right, I'm going to mute my screen and my sound and turn it
take it away. Y'all roll with it. All right.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, guys, here we go. So
thank you, Brandon. Brian, we love you. Thank you.
Thank you,
right, team. So we remember the ground rules, so we gotta stick to that here. And I'm so excited for each of you to share. And so kind of our theme today is talking about, you know, what each of you did, what I did, and other people that are watching this, the 1,600 people that are on with us today. So no pressure, Ryan, you know, I just love you, brother, but we're talking about that. But what did you have to do to trigger that response for you to take action? You know, coming out of different areas in your life, because it's a very diverse group here, and we're going to kind of go around. And I guess what other thing I wanted to do is, so oftentimes, you know, we've got power ladies and power guys and power couples and singles, and just, you know, real quick, Laurie's in her 40s, Leanna's early 50, Ryan's in his 40s, Shannon, how old are you? Like 38 or something, 30 something?
38.
Okay. 38, and Rob, he's the senior one amongst us, 61, right? Okay, 61. So different generations. We have single people, we have married people, we got single and dating people and everything in between. Because a lot of times people think, well, what kind of person is a Symmetry person? The answer is it's you, if you choose to take the journey. So we're gonna kind of let's start with Shannon, since you're unmuted, Shannon. We're gonna start with you. Just we kind of gave a little bit of background already about you being a dental hygienist, but share, you know, what was the thing in you that triggered to say, I'm gonna look for something different, and then how you took action on that.
Yeah, so I've worked as a dental hygienist, had a pretty good income, a good career, made about 90 grand a year. But I always was looking for a side hustle. And I always was trying to increase my income by about 10% each year. So I started doing Airbnb out of my house about 2 years ago. And that brought in a pretty good additional income there. But then I met Steven, saw the opportunity to maybe make an extra $1,000 a month. And that's really what brought me on board here. In October, I submitted my first application, wrote about 5K in business, both October and November. And really, I just plugged into, I ended up at a leadership retreat, right, for Ashley Tarr's agency. And only because I was a +1 for my new agency owner, Steven Jackson. So I met all of you guys in person. And I met Tony Capistrano, and Chris Leak, and all of these people that I saw the top of the leaderboards all the time. And, I kind of had this like, oh my gosh, these people are like celebrities, right? Like they're throwing up big numbers, they're doing lots of awesome things. And I met all you guys in person, and I was just like, holy cow, they're real people. They're humble. They're just very down to earth. Every single person I talked to was so willing to help me. And I just sat there and just took in every single little nugget I could get out of anybody that was there. And, one of the conversations was with Tony Capistrano, and he said, Shannon, I'm not really good at this. I'm not anything special. And I'm like, what? He's writing $40,000, $50,000 a month in business, And he's like, I'm not good at this. 30% of people are going to buy, get yourself in front of people, and 30% of them are going to buy. And that's really all I've done. I came home from that trip. I was like, what if I go into this full time? What's going to happen? And I quit my job and I went to work full time December 1st, submitted, $27,000 in business in December. I had a hard time getting a lot of that issued because I wasn't writing great business. I made a lot of mistakes, only had about 5,000 of it issue. And so I started reaching out to my team, looking at the people who were actually getting their business issue paid, and talked to Chris Leak, talked to Ryan Gaska, plugged into Alexandria Nolan, all of these people who gave me great advice. And here I am, 4 months in full time, I hit national top producer by issue paying $20,000 2 months in a row, and protecting
which were which months?
February and March.
Yeah. So congratulations on that. That's a tremendous feat. Talk about, because we have about a minute to go here. So talk about the decision, because I remember one of the things you told me about being a dental hygienist is about 8 to 10 years into it, most people are burned down on. You talk about how bad your neck and your back hurt and being hunkered over and leaned over in someone's mouth with all these instruments all day long, day after day, year after year. And you were processing the decision to go full time. And tell a little bit about that.
Yeah, honestly, I didn't have a lot of issues. I had seen a lot of people that were further on in their career that had a lot of back, neck, wrist issues, going through carpal tunnel surgeries, things like that. And I didn't really want that future for myself. But I loved my job. I loved working with people. I loved my patients. But I saw this opportunity, and especially the excitement, that Steven has for it. And I thought, gosh, where am I going to be 10 years from now? I'll be making the same income. There's not really opportunity for growth. But here, I could come here in 10 years from now. Holy cow, my life could be completely changed. My kids' lives could be completely changed. And, I've struggled with a lot of things here, with mostly getting in my head, like, I can't do this. I'm not good at this. I can't sell insurance, because I had no sales background. But I just go into it the mindset every single appointment. I'm here to help a family. As long as I help them, the money's going to follow. And having that mindset has really helped me continue to set appointments, not stress out about the fact that, I'm not perfect at this yet. I'm still learning. And it's helped me to issue pay, the numbers that I have. So
that's
pretty
great.
much it.
All right, Shannon, thank you so much. We're really proud of you and the direction you're going and where you're headed. And as you now are starting to recruit and participate in that, and I just couldn't be more proud of you. So well done, Shannon. And we look forward
Thanks,
to seeing your
Darren.
name on the leaderboard a lot more. All right, Leanna, you know what, you're clapping over there. Let's go to you. Leanna, let's talk a little about, your background and what you're doing and what led you into Symmetry. And you took a big leap of faith and really worked on the DFL and your office, and just give us a little more background on yourself and what you've done to focus and go full time and overcome obstacles.
Thanks, Darren. I appreciate it. Yeah, it's just, it's been a struggle. I mean, all of us come from a different place, as Darren said, and we've all been different backgrounds on what we bring to the table. And, Kyle being the massive recruiter in his previous and the fastest, 2 years to equity partner. And, so it's what we bring to that table. And so you can't compare. I mean, that's probably one of my biggest things is just, one of being amazing is, and on top of the leaderboards like Ryan, but it's been my, and Chris too. We want to say thank you to Chris because he gave up his time to be on the call with us today to give it to us. So we love Chris Leak very much, but there's that time and spinning all those plates, and we've been in massive recruiting this last few months and just refocusing on, yes, I'll be back on the top of the leaderboard someday, hopefully, but it's the point of that balancing act of what's important and to make sure that we're doing all the personal growth along the journey with that, for sure.
Yeah, and so you've gone out there and you made a decision, I think it was fall before last, and you very rare to do national top producer. That I've never even done that. What's exciting is I have a bunch of people on my team that are top producers and elite producers, but I've never even done that. And so I'm gonna just brag on Leanna for a few minutes because she decided to set a goal, and she went top producer 2 months in a row. And then she said, well, what's it take to be an elite producer? So month 1, month 2 qualifies as a top producer. And then said, well, how about if I just go month 3, month 4 and just power right through to elite producer? And she did. That's just like awesome. And now you have a growing team in your office. And so tell us a little bit about the decisions you went through to be more focused and more intentional and overcoming some of your difficulties in the recruiting process. And like you said, balancing out the plates of production and recruiting and team building.
Well, just a little bit of background about myself. So I was born in Canada, grew up in Idaho, I've always loved music. I mean, I went to college at BYU, Idaho, and that was always my focus was in business. I've always been an entrepreneur. My dad's an entrepreneur and taught us those qualities of being in business for yourself, not having that job mentality. So I brought a lot of that with me, been in a million multi-levels that didn't work. And we always were looking for something that would give us that long-term growth, the residual that we wanted. And so, that's what I came with. I mean, I have had a DJ business growing up. I used to teach music when my kids were little. So for 20 years, I've owned my own DJ, party planning, entertainment, DJ karaoke business. And the kids have had a blast, doing that. And so I never was afraid to speak and to talk to people. I went on a mission for my church. That taught me some amazing skills right there. But I still had that struggle to get on the phone. No matter where we come from, that phone is the heaviest thing ever. But when you could overcome that fear by action, massive action, and just putting in that activity, you get over those fears and you get over that struggle. And then this whole transition through COVID, I mean, we couldn't do events anymore. I mean, 99% of my events shut down. I couldn't DJ weddings. We had a food truck in 2019 as I'm heading into retirement from doing events. And I was able to go full-time with Symmetry. And what a blessing it was that I had this already in place. I'd already been kind of working at full-time or part-time and seeing the kids do well and seeing Darren do well. And I'm like, wait, I got to do this. And how amazing that we could make that transition and all the team that put that together and just powering through, like you said.
That's great. And I'm really proud of your hard work. And month 2, and of course, the new banner and the new mantra for all of us, in case you're new, promotions, giving yourself a contract increase and all that. It's all about what gets issued and paid. So being more intentional about asking better questions and writing the right kind of business, like Shannon said. In the beginning, she just kind of scattered a bunch of stuff out there, which is kind of cool for the leaderboard, but not so cool for your bank account balance. So we're real proud of the efforts that you put in. And I just have to say too, Leanna takes a lot of questions from a lot of people all over the team, and she's always willing to help. So thank you for being such a servant leadership showing that role in real life, and we really appreciate it. And I'm very confident your team's going to continue to pull together for you as you continue to run for agency owner. So you look out for this gal, because she's going to keep getting her name on the leaderboard. So thank you, Leanna. Well done. All right, let's Rob Skinner, brother Rob. We got a little bit of background. You used to be a car dealer, and then how that all got shut down, and kind of the process you went through. But kind of fill in the blanks on that same thread of where you were before, what you're doing now, that decision-making process, and then tell a little more about your story from you came in and your roofing business, and you were doing part-time, and then you decided to make the decision to go full-time back in November.
Yeah. Well, thanks, Darren. And first of all, like you, Darren, I'm very grateful and humble to be in such company. They say surround yourself with the 5 people that you would like to be like, spiritually, physically, financially. And I could pick the 5 right here on this panel that's surrounding you and be quite happy the rest of my life. But adding Brandon, Casey, and Brian to that list has been, pretty much a lifelong pursuit. And I want to thank them, because you've heard me describe it this way. My team's heard me describe it this way. But what Symmetry really is to me is like a high-end sports car, where somebody, Casey, Brandon, and Brian, were smart enough to take out the brake pedal and replace it with a second gas pedal. And just a small alligator brain person like me, all I have to do is press them both and go forward. So the vehicle is what I was looking for. So when I lost the car business, I was very successful. We had 6 of our 10 dealerships that I had a design on doing. I had a plan to literally have 10 car dealerships, and then I was going to leave that legacy to my kids and my wife and whoever. Well, that ended December 15th of 2009. I got a letter from General Motors saying that I had to do some things to keep my franchise. The things they asked me to do were impossible. So I hung my keys on the board, $12 million worth of inventory. We'd made $1 million in a month. And, my paycheck was, it rivaled, mid 6 figures every month. So I went from having a lot of money to where I turned to my wife after a phone call with my lawyer, the labor board in Alaska, and my banker. And I said, well, your rich old man cannot rub 2 quarters together. I literally, in all of my bank accounts, had 25 cents. And so since then, I've been a serial entrepreneur. We've had some success at things, but we couldn't find anything that gave us, under one umbrella, something I could produce and make $25,000 a month. That's kind of my bottom line for production. I need that type of level for me to be happy, because I've been there. If you've only made 1,000, it's hard to see 5,000. If you haven't made 5, it's hard to see 10, and so on and so forth. But I wasn't satisfied with making, wages. I'm unemployable, in my head. It's just, you don't want me working for you because I'm going to take over your business and run it, and you're not going to like me. So that's just the way I am. Secondly, I wanted something where I could leverage people. I put together a crew a few years ago, and we had a wildland firefighting contract. I'd never fought fires. I went and passed the test myself. The physical, I learned how to fight fires. I put a team of 75 together. The oil spill hit. Got them working, made $3 million in 3 months doing that, but it's a once and gone. I mean, there's not an oil spill every week, right? It happens
thankfully
every 20 years, right? So put that money into some investments. Now where's my income? So, tried MLM, tried some things, built big teams, but you need 40,000 people to make a living, selling potions, skincare and pills, and didn't want to do that. And so what these guys have designed is, you get 20 people writing like the people on this group, and you're making 6 figures a year off of leveraged income, and then you have some passive income. So it had all 3 of the gears that I was looking to grab in here. And when I started, Kimberly and I, we sat down, we studied for 4 days, passed our test on the 5th. On the 6th day, COVID hit, they shut down Idaho. I had to call some political people I knew just to get my license through. So I did it. I did cash in some chips, asked for some favors, got my license, and then we started. But I was horrible on the phone. I just sucked at it so bad. I'm a belly-to-belly guy. So I went part-time in July, and Darren said, you need to be in the $10,000 club. Well, I was splitting all my deals. So I wrote $20,000 a month, every month, July, August, September, October. I took November off to elk hunt, and then I went out and met Shannon and Ryan and some other people in Phoenix. And I came back on the 17th of November, prayed with my wife, called Laurie and said, yeah, we're going to go full time. And I think from the 18th to the end of the month, we did 24,000, and I've hit right around 30,000 every month since then.
Yeah.
You know, and I did it by, you know, being a little bit humble. I had to go what Darren went through, and personal development isn't new to Kimberly and I. We love it. But it was a new deal. I had to say, okay, take me and mold me. You know, Danny Young was vital in my signing up. 4 years ago, Darren approached me, Eric Ondrick approached me. And when they said insurance, I threw up a little bit in my mouth and said no. And, you know, Laurie was a little different. I got to watch her story, and she said, Rob, I'm having fun. I'm making money and I'm helping people. She goes, I think this would be right for you. You know, why don't you take a look? And so it was a little different approach. And I still got to mingle with Darren and Eric and everybody else. So that's kind of, I know my 4 minutes is up. So that's where I'm at.
Well, I think that's great, Rob. You know, you're a great asset to the team, and it's just amazing to, you know, some people might compare and say, oh my gosh, he's doing that for a few months. Well, yeah, but he came here with some acumen, with some accumulated experience. So don't judge your weaknesses against someone else's strengths. Celebrate someone else succeeding. Some people take years, some people take months, some people take weeks to get things down. But the best part, each one of us gets to choose when we want to do that. All right,
Darren,
so
Darren, just let me take 5 seconds, because I wanted to announce this nationally to the people on my team. And this goes to what Casey said about never slowing down, don't stop.
Mm-hmm.
You know, my personal production, my goal is $10,000 a week in personal production. Mm-hmm. And I want my team to know, I've said this to a few of them individually, but if they ever beat me in 2021, I'm going to give them $500. That's going to not only motivate them, but it's going to keep me producing. That's kind of my little accountability thing. So anybody on my team, you beat me in APV, I'm going to give you $500 out of my pocket. So
all right. Thank you, Rob.
Rob,
all right.
Can I come be on your team?
I don't think we'll do that transfer. No.
I don't want to fight Steven.
No. All right. So let's flip a coin. Laurie or Ryan, who wants to go last? And then one of you gets to go now. Raise your hand if you want to go now. Oh, neither one wants to. All right, Ryan. Okay. All right, Ryan, let's know more about your story, man. And I'll just kind of let you talk about the process and you know, where your head was at in terms of like, gosh, I'm 41. I'm managing this big retail group, kind of the chief operations guy, and there's no more place to go. I've been here 15 years. I'm making a nice salary and paid vacation. There's got to be something more for Ryan Gaska, the man and the father, the person. And then, you know, you talked to Tony, you did something else, and then I chased you for a while. And in fact, the day we're finally going to sit down at Starbucks, he was coming to tell me, yeah, don't talk to me anymore, man. So talk a little about that.
Well, gosh, how do I start this? Yeah, I started with a bad Craigslist ad, but you know, I think all of us will see what we want to see. You know, you're going to see what you want to see. And I saw something, right, with Symmetry. And it didn't make no sense, of course, when I look back on it. I had no business being an insurance agent. I never had any, you know, sales responsibilities before. But I needed a change, you know. I was, you know, I'm early 40s, and I'm sure there's some people on this call that can identify with me, where you just like, is this what my life is now? So I was ripe for the picking. And so, you know, I took a chance and made that transition. And I won't get into the whole, like, you know, how I transition out of a W-2 benefited position into the insurance. It took me about 6 months, but a couple of things that are relevant to this call that I think were, you know, I said this right out the gate to you, Darren, which is, you know, I said this to you directly. I said, this is what I need from you. If I'm going to do this, I need you to hold my hand, because I don't know anything. I don't want you to, you know, sell me a line of BS, or, you know, tell me I got to talk to my, you know, 100 closest friends and family. You know, I don't want to do any of that. I just want a system I can plug into that's going to produce reliable results. And of course you said yes, right? And And, I'm sure there was something magical in that moment, something I saw in you, a connection, whatever it was, that just gave me the hope that I needed to just take that step. And a couple things that stand out though for me in those early days, and like I said, I'm sure there's people on this call that can identify, is you just don't know what you don't know. You don't know what it's going to be like, and there's a certain amount of trust. And if I can say anything now that I'm on the other side of that learning curve, and I'm still learning a lot of different things now than I was back then, you got to reach out and make connections. That's the great thing about Symmetry is this family of ours. Everybody wants everyone else to succeed, right? You see evidence of that every single time you open Facebook or make a call, or even if you don't make a call, right, before you know it, after a few days, someone's calling you, someone's sending you a text, hey, where are you, right, what's going on? That culture of I want you to succeed, right? And maybe I'll succeed by helping you, but I really want to see you succeed. So making that connection, making lots of connections. I made the connection with you, of course, first, but real quickly, we don't want to be, our downline's resource. We want to plug them into the resources. I started reaching out and making a lot of connections on my own with different people, because this is a crazy thing when you start doing it, is someone you don't know yet, or you will know soon, has the answer to a question you have, right? There's something that I needed to know in the beginning about this or that, whether it came to production, writing applications, leads, calling in, all that different stuff, right? But someone had the answer. I just had to ask them for it. Okay. And they would give me an answer, and I'd say, okay, maybe that works, maybe that doesn't. Let me go talk to this person too, see what they say. So reaching out to people, making those connections, and then asking, well, what is it that you say about this problem I'm having, So you gotta develop that skill of asking. Okay, asking.
Right. I remember one day,
not relying on other people to do all of you're learning for you, but being able to ask.
Right. Well, I remember one day you called me in August, year before last, so it'll be 2 years ago this coming August, where you had taken a bunch of leads and like $400 or $500 a week in leads, and you hadn't closed any business 3 weeks straight. Just Ryan could set appointments all day long, but he couldn't close anything. I said, all right, Ryan, get in your car, come down to my house. I want to see what you're doing. I want you to walk through the door and pitch me what you're doing. Now, you can't see Ryan. Ryan's quite a bit taller than me. I'm 5'10" on a good day if I've been to the chiropractor. He's 6'3", slouching, 6'2", whatever, strikingly handsome, good looking dude. He comes in my house and he's got this like death kill look. I'm like, whoa, relax. And I actually told him to go out, pick up all the stuff and go out, calm down, and come knock on the door as if I was a real customer. And he took the coaching, he took the heat, hard coaching. And then we kind of broke down what was all, because he was off in the weeds with this presentation. And then we built that all up. And Ryan, I appreciate you always being coachable and trainable. And he's system driven. And this guy wrote, what, 357,000 last year on your own pen. And we couldn't be more proud of you. And now he's second month of agency owner qualification. Check the box on that. And building a fantastic team, got a lot of great people. And so keep watching for that man, Ryan Gaska. And it's something else too. Ryan, total team player. People from across the team reach out to Ryan and to Leanna and to Laurie, different people. And he's got a servant leadership heart. And that's amazing, brother. Well done. And I look forward to seeing you continue to grow. All right. Because of time, Laurie, we're up to you. And gosh, where do we go with our story? Before when I talk about when I was getting foreclosed on a house that I paid for in cash, and then I took a first and a second to keep all my projects going. And I thought I had a lot of friends. Well, they were friends because it's like that line from that Styx song, too much time on my hands. I've got dozens of friends and the fun never ends. That is, as long as I'm buying. Well, Laurie's been one of those true loyal friends. And when I was at the bitter end being forced out of my house, I needed some help. And she knew I was in a lot of pain. And she came over and packed up my kitchen and helped me literally leave my house. And for that, I've always been indebted to you. And that's one of the things that cemented our relationship. And so enough about me, let's talk about you. just the process and journey you've been through and what you've had to overcome, and tell a little bit about your story and foreclosure and your health issues this last year and 5 kids and all the stuff you got going on in your life, and how you've just summoned the strength to focus on the activity and where that's taking you.
Ironically, your foreclosure story and my foreclosure story have been my greatest gift. Because I watched you go through what you went through, and I watched you rise above it all. When I faced it myself, I knew who to call because I watched you do it yourself. Not only that, what you guys were talking about earlier with your growth, your personal growth and development, I watched you, I think you originally shared mortgage protection with me 5 years ago, and the timing was off. I wasn't humble and I didn't have that need. So going through my foreclosure, it was my greatest gift because that was my switch that said, I flipped it on and I went, oh my gosh, like the fear of whatever this is before me has to go away because I had no other options. So, I've had people ask, do you have to be broken to do this business? And the answer is absolutely not. There's so much more you have to overcome when that happens. But what the gift in that is that it does make you have to step forward in a way you may not have if you didn't have that fire underneath you that makes you move quick. And that gift also was because Rob Skinner watched me go through that. He watched me getting the phone calls from people trying to buy my home because I'm on the foreclosure list. And I'm telling them, no, I'm going to pull out of it. They'd like, no, you better sell now or it will go in foreclosure. I'm like, no, I'm going to pull out of it. And they would just think I was adorable because nobody does that. And I was able to accomplish that. And, I needed that high dollar time return. And I was able to write a check and save my home. And that was massive, but it had a ripple effect, just like Darren's foreclosure had a ripple effect. And then shortly, right after that check was written, I was diagnosed with a massive health condition. And it was a big setback, but again, because of that setback, and I had right away started sharing Symmetry. I had a team that kind of lifted me up and carried me through that time. And now that I'm 100% in the clear, my health is better than ever. I feel like it's day one. I'm very fortunate that, I have a great team, and I'm really all about culture and protecting my energy. So the people that I bring in to the team, and it's kind of ripple affecting there. We just love each other, and I'm so grateful that I had those setbacks because that's what helped me flip my switch.
That's amazing. Yeah. And your health challenge is one of those ones that, can go either way pretty fast. And I just watched you pour through that, and we supported you and loved on you. And Laurie's got a pretty big team because not only is she qualifying agency owner, but yeah, Rob and Kimberly Skinner are soon to be agency owners on her team. So she'll pop right to agency director and keep moving on up the levels of leadership. And Laurie definitely has a servant leadership heart, and she's always loving and serving on everybody. And you're a great asset, Laurie. And I can't wait to continue to watch you grow and build your team and tell more of your story and share that special Laurie love that you have, because you have a special, unique gift to draw people in and just love on them. So I'm always grateful to have you around, and I'm very proud of you. So well done. All right, guys. Thank you, each of you, for sharing with us for a few minutes. And so if you guys want to stay on cam, you can. If not, that's all right. But with the few minutes we have left, I'm going to cut my content about 50-60%, and because I know we want to share the time with each of you. But I just kind of wanted to continue down that point of doing what it takes. And I got some great quotes thanks to Nate Offert and Marlon Faulkner. A few of us went down to some additional training this last week in Dallas. And one of the things I wrote down from Nate says, you don't do what it takes, you don't have what it takes. And doing and taking action is the critical component of what we're doing here, because everyone has setbacks, everyone has fears and struggles, and it's up in your mind. It's the choice of doing what you have to do and taking action. And I'm going to give you some acronyms here that I want you to write down. And I stole this one from Nate, so I'll give Nate credit 3 times and I'll say it's mine. But LDRs, learn, do, review. Learn, do, review. You know, it's like learning to be a surgeon. You hear it, you see it, and then they put the scalpel in your hand and you go do it. You have to learn, do, and review, and constantly be reviewing what you're doing so that you get better, and accepting coaching from other people that maybe can see things that you can't see about yourself. And one of the most important things is to be engaging daily in RGAs. What are RGAs? Revenue generating activities. What's the single most important thing you can do at any moment to build your agency? And it's right here. Ready? Casey Watkins 101. This means you're making money. This means you're not. Okay, if you're on the phone, you're engaging in the single most important RGA there is, revenue generating activities, prime time. Now, if you have your calendar and and that's something else about Ryan. Ryan is the master of his calendar. That guy is a machine. He rivals me. I'm like, because I think I'm pretty good. And I look at Ryan, I'm like, oh crap, I got no discipline compared to Ryan. And so same thing with recruiting. This means you're making money. This means you're not. It's going to come down to taking action. And the biggest thing to take action is getting on the phone. And it's kind of like, you know, when you're doing a call session, you have that reluctance, and then you get the first one and the two, and next thing you know, man, 2.5 hours has flown by, you booked 7 appointments, and you're like, that wasn't that hard. Why is that being such a win? Because it's all up in your mind. Now, each of us have that ability to potential. It's all stored within us, like kinetic energy, right? Kinetic potential. But you have to flip that switch. You have to figure out what is it in you. And unfortunately, humans go by 2 things, pleasure and pain. And which one motivates you more, the desire for pleasure or the power of pain? And unfortunately, for most of us, it's the power of pain, not the desire for pleasure, that causes us to take action, to change, to go through the growth. And if you can just focus on what do I need to do to activate that inside me? Because we all have different skills. We all have different talents. And you have to have some skills you're going to have to learn. And the best part is you can learn those talents. You can learn those skills by persistence and going through it. You know, Brian Pope talks about we're, you know, coaching and development business. I heard a quote this last week and says, we're in the business of manufacturing greatness. And that's really what we do. And the skill sets come from, you know, your body. Your body's your skill to pick up the phone and do these different things. In your mind, the knowledge you gain and learn as you struggle and go through the process. In your heart, that's the inspiration. That's your dream and your goal, and your spirit, that becomes your confidence. And so what we have to be thinking is we have to be thinking about activation. We have to think about persistence. We have to think about intensity. So I'm going to come at you a little intense in the few minutes I have left here and just kind of shoot straight with you. Whatever your goal is. Now, you don't have to, maybe you're just so brand new, you haven't decided to take a license. Well, what do you have to lose? I don't know if anyone can pass the test. Well, I didn't know if I could pass the test till I tried. What do you have to lose? It's that process of just making a decision and then taking action and not looking over your shoulder. When if you're a part-time builder, you're building a nice agency. Well, I want to get to AO. Well, I've got news for my soon-to-be 4 or 5 new AOs here. And thank you, Chris Leak, again, for being humble and giving up your spot to someone else, man. You rock. That servant leadership thing, that's part of the PacWest agency. But what you have to do is you have to look at that choice of becoming an agency owner. And you think, well, I've arrived. Well, Casey and Brandon and I were kind of chit-chatting about that. That's the beginning. Now you're up to the ground floor. And I looked at it from a standpoint of 2 full-time jobs. I'm a top producing field underwriter, and I'm a national recruiter and trainer for a $160 million 11-year-old privately owned insurance and retirement planning company. That's my elevator pitch. I know I said that really fast, so I slow down and do it again so people can get it. Okay. Darren, what do you do? Oh, yeah, that's a great question. Actually, I'm a national recruiter and trainer for a 11-year-old $160 million privately owned insurance and retirement planning company. I swear to God, people, whoa, what's that about? Tell me what? What do you do? You know, because I don't chase anyone. When you're completely sold out, that's something else that you need to be. You need to be completely sold out, that what you're doing is in the best interest of your client, and that it's the best interest of your client to take action with you today. So are you totally sold out in terms of the client facing, making phone calls and doing presentations? Now flip that coin over to recruiting. Are you totally sold out that it's in your prospect's best interest to take action with you today to get onto this team? Because if you're not totally sold out, you might want to look into that. And in fact, one of my favorite songs is a song by my favorite band, Tower of Power, called Sold, S-O-U-L-E-D, Sold Out. And there's some great lyrics in there. I was going to share that, but we don't have time. But some of the lyrics are kind of apropos for joining our company and what we do. And it's the place to be. And it's just some fun hooks and lyrics in that song. And if you want to look that up, you'll know what I'm talking about. So right now, where we're all at in this journey, in this process, is everybody needs to get better. You need to skill up. You need to level up. You need to choose to just take more action. And maybe you're here and you came here with some talent and skill. Well, here's some things about talent and skill. If you don't do the hard work, it doesn't matter how much talent you have, because you can always make up for what you lack in talent and skill with hard work and numbers. Like Casey was saying earlier, understanding the math. For me, I don't care what anyone says to me on the phone, because I know every time I pick up the phone to make a dial, I just made $85. Every time someone answers the phone, I just made $175. Doesn't matter, because it's the process, it's the data set. And the best part about math is math doesn't lie. Math's apolitical. Math is not emotional. So if you train your mind to understand the metrics and drive the metrics, and what you can control is the attitude, you can control the activities, and you control who you associate with. So kudos for sticking on here. We still have 1,200 people on here because you're choosing to associate. But you want to be, another quote I got this weekend, Navy SEALs, not baby SEALs, but hungry, humble, coachable. And I think too that some notes I've made about myself, is stop going through life on 80% effort. How many of you here have really sold out? I mean, all in, 100% of your time, your talent, your skill. Check your ego at the door and really do the hard work to skill up, to level up, to pour your life into other people and watch what happens when it comes back. I read a book in the 90s by Dr. Dennis Waitley, and he talked about Olympic athletes, gymnasts, and things like that, skaters, doing the unspectacular over and over for the moment of spectacular. Now, as a musician, I can relate to that. I mean, I started playing trumpet in the 7th grade, and we start out on the F scale, B flat major scale, and the F scale. Here I am now, 40 something years later, and whenever I go to rehearsal, guess what scale we always start out with? Yeah, that damn F scale, over and over and over, playing the same scales chromatically in the circle of fifths. No flats, no sharps, 1 flat, 2 flat, 3 flat, then no sharps, 1 sharp, 2, 3, 4, all the way up around the circle of fifths. I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm playing the same damn scale. It's like, yeah, because the theory of music doesn't change. And then, you start to rehearse a piece of music. And man, when you sitting here listening to one trumpet player rehearse, yeah, that's kind of boring. It kind of sucks actually. But then you get into the ensemble and you're playing with the group and you're a voice in the choir. You're one part of this cool arrangement. And then all that unspectacular work comes to fruition when you step on stage in front of an audience and there's thousands of people out there. And you're doing it for that sound that comes from the audience. And that's that cheer, the joy you transferred from your hard work working on your musicianship to the crowd. And then they clap because you made them feel something. That emotion drove them. And so what I want people to focus on is getting better at appreciating the unspectacular over and over and over for the moment of spectacular. Well, right now, this is a little example of a moment of spectacular being on the national call with all these wonderful people in our agency. Maybe for you, that moment of spectacular is when you get your credit card bills paid off. Maybe it's buying your daughter a car. Maybe it's when you get to be on the main stage in Symmetry in the Belco Theater in Denver next year. I don't know what that is for you, but if you don't choose now to pay that price, then that moment of spectacular is never going to come to you. And I think, you've got to really focus on, you want the opportunity. No one needs a job. Ryan and I talked about this, becoming unemployable. I mean, Ryan, for any amount of money, would you go back into managing retail stores now that you've had a taste of this life?
No, my old boss actually asked me if there was an offer he could make to keep me.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
I hesitated. I did hesitate, but I said no.
Yeah.
Once I made that decision, I was done.
You were gone. Yeah. Well, I had a lot more prepared, but I just wanted to share the time with all the wonderful people in our agency, and I'm really grateful. But one of the things I wanted to show you guys is I made this 4.5 years ago because I started thinking about, well, what is it that Darren wants? What's my big dream, my big goal, besides taking care of my family and my kids and grandchildren and all that normal stuff that you would say. I'm just going to do a quick screen share because sometimes you have to visualize what you're looking for. Probably a lot of you don't know, but we have a lot of killer wine country here in Idaho. And people are like, what? I thought Idaho was potatoes. Well, the closest potato farm is about a 3-hour drive away from where I live. But this is what it looks like about 25 minutes from downtown Boise. Lots of wineries. It's really beautiful. And you know what? There's a lot right next to that 5 acres sitting on that hill overlooking that. And you gotta like sometimes focus on it. What is it you're looking for? And that's due north. Because sometimes you have to focus on your moral compass pointing north. You have to focus on where you're trying to get to, and then reverse engineer backwards. What is you need to do to get to where you want to go? So I wrote on this 4.5 years ago in the first person to myself. Your success is in proportion to how many calls you made today. Not what I'm going to do tomorrow. The first thing on my success list of what I'm driving myself, my success is in proportion to how many calls I made today. Dial, dial, dial. The pathway to your goals is through dials. Okay, a winery on the hill will come with dials, in-homes, sales, and recruits. And it just goes on. Recruit, train, recruit, train, recruit, train, recruit, train, dial, 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 recruit, train. This sits right in front of my monitor on my desk. I've been staring at the same piece of paper for 4.5 years. Because in my mind, it's already there. I just have to accept the fact that I got to step in and do the hard work. And I've just made a conscious choice to find joy in the hard work instead of, oh, the phone sucks. Yeah, it does. I get that. But whatever you think in your mind, that's what it really is. And so I think I'll leave with a Shakespeare quote. To thine own self be true. If you're not happy with where you're at, you have the power to change it. If you want to get better, you have the power to change that yourself. And just jump into the system, jump into the process, stay committed, stay focused, stay out the process long enough that success comes to you. Because see, most people quit when success is right around the corner. I mean, when you're just completely exhausted. I have to tell you, last 3 months getting to 120, I thought I was going to have a heart attack, a stroke, or become a professional alcoholic. Okay, because I couldn't see it. Setbacks. Oh, there was a chargeback. Oh, did this rider go through? Oh, did this one go through? Oh my, where are we at? Where are we at on the net pay? The net place. Okay, issue paid minus chargeback equals net place. Do we hit the number? Do we hit the number? And sometimes it was difficult. And I'm not kidding. 3 or 4 weeks ago, I was just like, I called Kyle and said, I'm done, man. I am spent. I don't have the energy. I just can't do it anymore, which is ridiculous. But sometimes, even when you're leading from the front, the leader gets tired, but you persevere. You power through anyway. And I know each one of you can do that. So focus on your goals.
Now, let me give you this one last quote. Heber J. Grant, that which you persist in doing becomes easier. Not that the nature of the thing has changed, but the power to do it has increased. So just keep doing what you're doing. You got this.
Yep. Thank you, Leanna. And I think that overall, if you plug into your system, like Ryan said, ask. Anyone that's an agency owner is willing to help you. Anyone that's a top producer is willing to help you. You just have to choose to do the hard work. So we're on a hard stop here. Thank you, everyone. Brandon, Casey, Brian, thank you so much for letting us come in and share our team with their company. We're really humbled and grateful.
Love it, guys.
Love you guys.
Killed it. Appreciate
Come join
y'all.
us.
Yep. Congratulations, everybody. Go get them, Darren.
All right. Take care.
See you guys.
Thanks, Casey.
Bye.